God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul, not with urgency, not with fear, but with a calm and open heart." This message did not arrive to disturb you, and it did not come to rush you. It arrived because your spirit needed a gentle pause, a quiet moment where the noise of the world softens and clarity can finally breathe. You have been carrying many thoughts inside you, some heavy, some confusing, some unfinished, and heaven wants you to know that you do not need to solve everything right now. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is found not in action, but in stillness. Archangel Michael stands beside you not as a warrior today, but as a guide of peace. His presence is calm, steady, and reassuring, like a hand resting gently on your shoulder reminding you that you are safe where you are. He says this message is not meant to change your life in one dramatic moment, but to slowly realign your heart with truth, patience, and inner strength. You have been strong for a long time, stronger than most people realize, and strength does not always look loud. Often, it looks like endurance, like continuing even when answers are unclear. There have been moments when you questioned your choices, your timing, and even yourself. You wondered whether you waited too long, trusted too deeply, or held on when you should have let go. Heaven sees those questions, not as weakness, but as signs of a thoughtful and sincere soul. Reflection is not a mistake. It is how wisdom is formed. Archangel Michael reminds you that every experience you have lived has shaped your understanding, and nothing was wasted, not even the quiet struggles no one else noticed. Take a breath here. Let it be slow. Let it be intentional. This message is inviting you to step out of urgency and into awareness. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to learn what comes next. Peace does not arrive when everything is perfect, it arrives when you choose to stop fighting yourself. Wisdom begins when you stop demanding immediate clarity and allow understanding to unfold gently, layer by layer. God says you are allowed to rest your mind. You are allowed to release the pressure of always needing to know the next step. Trust is not built by forcing certainty, it is built by learning to sit calmly with the unknown. Archangel Michael says that when you choose peace over panic, your inner voice becomes clearer. And when your inner voice becomes clear, the right decisions reveal themselves naturally, without strain. There is a quiet strength growing within you right now. It does not shout. It does not rush. It does not compete. It simply knows. This strength comes from everything you have endured and everything you have learned to accept. You may not see it yet, but this period of reflection is shaping a wiser, more grounded version of you. One who reacts less, listens more, and moves with intention instead of impulse. This message is a reminder that wisdom often whispers, it does not command. It arrives softly, asking you to slow down enough to hear it. Archangel Michael encourages you to observe your thoughts without judgment, your emotions without resistance, and your path without comparison. Your journey does not need to look like anyone else's to be meaningful. Peace comes when you honor your own rhythm. For now, simply stay present with this feeling of calm. Let it settle. Let it remind you that clarity is not something you chase, it is something that comes to you when your heart is ready to receive it. This moment is not about answers yet. It is about alignment, awareness, and gentle trust. Remain here, in this calm awareness. More. Understanding is unfolding. As this calm settles within you, understand that what you are experiencing right now is not emptiness. Silence is not absence. Silence is space. And in that space, your soul finally has room to breathe. Archangel Michael says many people confuse silence with being lost, but heaven knows that silence is often the moment just before understanding arrives. You have spent so much time listening outwardly, to opinions, expectations, noise, and urgency, that you forgot how powerful it is to listen inwardly. This message is not asking you to change anything yet. It is asking you to notice. Notice how your thoughts slow down when you stop forcing answers. Notice how your body relaxes when you stop preparing for what hasn't happened. Notice how peace begins to form when you allow yourself to exist without explanation. This is wisdom awakening quietly inside you. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It simply settles, like morning light filling a room without making a sound. God says you have been strong in ways that required patience, not force. You carried responsibilities that were never spoken out loud. You held emotions that had nowhere to go. You stayed steady when things felt uncertain, even when no one noticed. Heaven noticed. And now, instead of rewarding you with noise or urgency, heaven is offering you clarity. Clarity does not rush. It arrives when the heart is ready to understand without fear. Archangel Michael reminds you that not every season of life is meant for movement. Some seasons are meant for alignment. You are in a moment where your inner world is being rearranged gently, carefully, so that future choices come from wisdom instead of pressure. If you feel like life has slowed down recently, it is not because you are stuck. It is because something inside you is being refined. There is a difference between waiting and preparing. Waiting feels heavy. Preparing feels quiet but purposeful. Right now, you are preparing, even if it doesn't look like it. Your thoughts are becoming clearer. Your boundaries are becoming stronger. Your understanding of what truly matters is deepening. These are not small changes. These are foundations. God says you do not need to prove your growth to anyone. Growth is not always visible. Sometimes it looks like choosing peace instead of reaction. Sometimes it looks like walking away from unnecessary conflict. Sometimes it looks like forgiving without reopening doors. Wisdom teaches you when to speak, when to remain silent, and when to simply observe without absorbing what does not belong to you. Archangel Michael says the calm you feel right now is not temporary comfort. It is guidance. When your spirit feels calm around a thought, that thought carries truth. When your spirit feels heavy around a situation, that is wisdom asking you to pause. Learn to trust these signals. They are not random emotions. They are inner alignment speaking softly. You may have felt recently that certain things no longer affect you the way they once did. Situations that used to pull you into confusion now feel distant. Conversations that once drained you now feel unnecessary. This is not detachment born from pain. This is detachment born from understanding. You are learning what deserves your energy and what does not. This is maturity of the soul. God says you are not losing interest in life, you are gaining clarity about yourself. When clarity arrives, distractions lose their power. When wisdom grows, chaos becomes easier to step away from. This does not make you cold. It makes you centered. And a centered soul moves through life with less regret and more peace. Archangel Michael wants you to remember this. Peace is not something you find after everything is resolved. Peace is something you choose so that things can resolve naturally. The more you allow calm awareness into your daily thoughts, the more life aligns without force. Doors open without pushing. Answers appear without chasing. Understanding arrives without pressure. Right now, you are learning to trust your inner timing. You are learning that you do not need to rush decisions to feel secure. Security does not come from speed. It comes from alignment. And alignment grows when you give yourself permission to pause. This message is not asking you to do anything. It is reminding you of who you are becoming. Someone who listens before reacting. Someone who observes before deciding. Someone who values peace over proving a point. This is wisdom in its purest form. Stay with this calm. Let it settle deeper. More understanding is still unfolding. As this understanding settles deeper within you, Archangel Michael asks you to notice something subtle but important. The calm you are experiencing is not accidental, and it is not weakness. Calm is strength that has learned it does not need to announce itself. There was a time when your mind searched constantly for reassurance, for signs, for certainty outside of yourself. But now, something has shifted quietly. You are beginning to trust the stillness more than the noise, and that is a sign of inner wisdom awakening. God says many answers you once searched for urgently are now arriving gently, without effort. This is because your heart has matured enough to receive them without fear. Fear demands instant clarity. Wisdom allows understanding to unfold naturally. You are no longer asking life to rush. You are allowing life to reveal itself at the right pace. That is not delay. That is alignment. Archangel Michael reminds you that every soul reaches a moment where growth becomes internal rather than visible. From the outside, it may look like nothing is changing. Inside, everything is being reorganized. Old beliefs are loosening their grip. Old emotional patterns are losing their authority. You are no longer reacting from habit. You are responding from awareness. This is not something you learned overnight. This is something you earned through experience, patience, and reflection. God says there were moments when you felt misunderstood, not because you were wrong, but because you were evolving faster than your surroundings. When this happens, silence becomes safer than explanation. Not everyone needs to understand your journey. Some people are only meant to witness the outcome, not the process. Protecting your peace does not mean hiding. It means honoring what is sacred within you. Archangel Michael says you are learning discernment. Discernment is the ability to feel what aligns with your soul without needing external confirmation. You are beginning to sense which conversations nourish you and which quietly drain you. Which environments support your growth and which keep you stuck in old versions of yourself. This awareness is not judgment. It is self-respect. God says the reason things feel calmer now is because you are no longer fighting who you are becoming. Resistance creates noise. Acceptance creates peace. When you stop trying to be understood by everyone, your inner world finally found space to breathe. That is why clarity feels closer now. Not loud clarity, but gentle knowing. Archangel Michael wants you to trust this phase. It may feel slower than before, but it is deeper. It may feel quieter, but it is stronger. Roots grow in silence before they support anything visible. Your life is building something stable within you so that what comes next does not shake you easily. This is preparation, not pause. God says you do not need to force yourself to feel motivated all the time. Motivation comes and goes. Stability stays. Right now, you are learning stability of thought, stability of emotion, stability of spirit. This is why you are less reactive, less anxious, less pulled into unnecessary urgency. Your nervous system is learning safety again. Archangel Michael reminds you that peace does not mean nothing challenges you. Peace means challenges no longer define you. You observe situations without immediately identifying with them. You allow emotions to pass through without letting them take control. This is emotional wisdom, and it is one of the strongest forms of growth a person can experience. God says some of the thoughts returning to you lately are not meant to disturb you, but to be understood from a calmer perspective. When the same thought returns again and again, it is often asking to be seen clearly, not feared. And now that your heart is calmer, you can finally look at it without being overwhelmed. This is healing through awareness. Archangel Michael says you are entering a stage where intuition becomes clearer because fear is no longer interfering. When fear quiets down, guidance becomes easier to recognize. You may notice that decisions feel simpler now. Not because life is simpler, but because you trust yourself more. That trust is earned, not given. God says you are allowed to move gently through life. You do not have to justify your pace. You do not have to rush healing. You do not have to carry what no longer belongs to you. Choosing peace is not avoidance. It is wisdom choosing sustainability over exhaustion. This message is not ending yet. The understanding within you is still unfolding. As this message reaches its final unfolding, Archangel Michael invites you to remain present with yourself for a moment longer. There is no rush now. Nothing here is asking you to react, to decide immediately, or to change overnight. This closing is not an ending, it is a settling. Like clear water after a storm, your inner world is finding its natural balance again. What you feel right now is not emptiness. It is space. And space is where wisdom lives. God says you have carried many versions of yourself through different seasons of life, and each one served a purpose. Some versions were strong because they had to survive. Some were quiet because they were healing. Some were searching because they were learning. You are now stepping into a version that does not need to prove anything. This version understands that growth does not always announce itself. Sometimes it simply becomes visible through peace. Archangel Michael reminds you that peace is not passive. Peace is an active choice to remain grounded when life offers distraction, comparison, or unnecessary urgency. You are learning how to observe your thoughts instead of being pulled by them. You are learning how to respond instead of react. This is not something everyone around you may notice, but your soul recognizes it clearly. That recognition is enough. God says the clarity you are experiencing is not coming from answers outside of you. It is coming from alignment within you. When your thoughts, emotions, and intentions begin to move in the same direction, confusion fades naturally. You no longer feel torn between who you are and who you think you should be. You are becoming comfortable being honest with yourself, and that honesty is deeply healing. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that choosing peace does not mean choosing less. It means choosing what is real. It means letting go of the need to constantly analyze every outcome. It means trusting that what is meant for you will not require constant anxiety to maintain. You are allowed to rest in the knowledge that your life is unfolding with meaning, even when every detail is not yet visible. God says there was a time when your heart asked many questions, not because it lacked faith, but because it was learning discernment. Now, those questions are becoming quieter, not because they were answered directly, but because you learned to trust yourself more deeply. Trust is not the absence of doubt, it is the ability to move forward gently even when everything is not fully clear. Archangel Michael says this stage of your journey is about integration. You are integrating lessons without reliving pain. You are remembering experiences without reopening wounds. You are honoring your past without allowing it to define your future. This balance is rare, and it comes only after inner maturity. You have reached it not by force, but by patience. God says your presence itself is changing. People may feel calmer around you without knowing why. Conversations may feel more meaningful or more selective. You are no longer available for everything, and that is healthy. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors that open only to what aligns with your peace. Archangel Michael encourages you to carry this calm forward into your daily life. Let it influence how you speak to yourself. Let it guide how you make decisions. Let it remind you that you do not need to carry the weight of everything at once. Life responds differently to those who move with steadiness rather than urgency. God says, remember this, wisdom does not shout. It whispers. And the fact that you stayed with this message until now is a reflection of your ability to listen deeply. That ability will continue to guide you, long after these words end. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders relax. Let your thoughts settle. Nothing is being taken from you. Everything that matters is being preserved. This message ends here, but the understanding within you continues. If this message brought you clarity, calm, or a sense of inner strength, support this space of wisdom. Like this video to honor the message, comment with what resonated most, share it with someone who may need peace today, and subscribe to stay connected with more calm, meaningful guidance like this.